A different time, but still the same product. Razor sharp picks. We're going to do well this week. I feel it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Razor Sharp Picks and welcome to Hashtag Sports. My name is Joe, and if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I know, new time, different time, all that's confusing. Thank you for being patient with me as we had some things going on last night. One of our kids is sick, so we do it this afternoon before game time, right? You don't want to put these things out here after game time because you guys want to make some money. I want to make some money. Cameron already given me his Week 10 picks, going with our Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. We'll get to that game. Have a lot to talk about with that game. Will the Bills cover the spread? Will the Bills win it all? Can the Bills get back on the right track? Obviously, those are all some big questions. Tonight, he has the Panthers winning. We'll talk about that game here in a second. The Colts, Browns, Steelers, 49ers, Saints, Bengals, Bucks, Chargers, Cardinals, Cowboys, Seahawks, and Raiders. And that is his lineup. As you guys are coming in here, not only make sure you hit that thumbs up button, also let me know your picks. Let me know your picks. You can go down with them as I go down with them. Give me your picks, or like Cameron just did, feel free to go ahead and leave them in the chat all at one time. Either way, does not matter. First and foremost, however, we do want to make sure we make everyone aware of the bye weeks this week. There are 4 teams on bye this week. That means there are 14 matchups in the NFL this week 10. Dolphins, Chiefs, Eagles, Rams. When I look at that, when I look at those 4 teams on bye, I see points. I see points. So if you're someone who bets games and you're looking at over-unders, just looking at 3 of those 4 teams right there, that leads me to believe a lot of unders are going to be hit this week because 3 of those 4 teams, huge points. Now, Dolphins and Chiefs just come back from Germany, and every team gets their pick as to if they have their bye week after their game overseas or not. The Bills got the same option, and the Bills declined. Maybe we should have accepted to get a bye week before that week, just so we would have felt better getting into London. But hey, it is what it is. I want to make some money. I got a $1 parlay that will pay out $250K. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that spin. You go ahead and show me the parlay, and I'm going to let you know where you're right and where you're wrong. However, when it comes to being wrong, at least straight up, we weren't wrong that much last week. We were not wrong that much last week. We went 13-1 on the money line last week. Pretty impressive day. If you bet the money line with us, you made out with a pretty good profit last week. Went 13-1, but you all know what I want. I want that perfect week. I want 14-0. I want 16-0. I want to be the best of the best of the best. Sir, that's what I want to be. And unfortunately, it did not add up against the spread to much success as we went 7-7 against the spread last week. That means, again, if you look down the bottom here, I have the ticker going, giving you my results both for last week and for the season so far. We're down less than 1 unit, actually. I put 1 unit. We're down less than 1 unit. So we're going to go you better right blame you. Hey, blame me. This is what I'm here for. I am here to give you picks. So when they're wrong, you have someone to blame if you put money on it, okay? That's what I'm here for, but I offer no refunds. No refunds. So don't think that I'm going to be giving you that spin, but good to see you guys. Cameron says he went 9-5 in week 9. Hey, that's not bad, right? I want double digits every single week. Like, that's my goal. Double digits every single week is my goal. But again, I do want that all elusive, perfect week. Obviously, straight up, I think it would be almost impossible to get a perfect week against the spread. And let's be honest, if I get a perfect week against the spread, I'm going to be very upset that I did 1 unit per game and didn't parlay 16 games and say, I'm a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire so freaking bad. All right, so now we went through the bye weeks. We go to tonight's game. This is where we start things off with the Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears. The Bears in Chicago. Listen, you must be hurting or wishing for punishment if you're betting on this game. If you're a degenerate gambler betting on this game, which I am, and I will, so that's fine. You're a glutton for punishment betting on this game. But that's just the way it works, right? We can't help it that the NFL doesn't know how to schedule good Thursday night football games. That's not our fault. Is it our fault? No. It's our fault that the Panthers threw 2 pick sixes last week and can't get out of their own way? No. Is it our fault that the Bears can't put an offensive game plan together, and when they do, it's with their backup quarterback? No. Those things aren't our fault. We just control our money and we decide to bet it on games that don't matter. That's all. That's all. The cream of the crop always rises to the top. Macho man, says Paul. Good to see you, Paul. Glad you joined me for a second. Hey, listen, I'm trying to rise to the top. Again, you see my record overall, 87-49 straight up. Again, need to do a little bit better against the spread. Want to make some money. Don't want to finish the season even. Although at this point, even is going to be better than losing a lot of money. So going into that first game tonight, obviously the Panthers coming off that loss last week where they had 2 pick sixes. Listen, they had 2 pick sixes and the under still hit. And that's pretty. I picked the under, so I was happy about that. But that's how bad the Panthers' offense is. They gave the team 14 points, and they couldn't match it. They couldn't get points enough to cover the spread. But you think about how the Panthers' defense did last week. Pretty good against the Colts, right? Pretty good. Not unless you're John Gardner Minshew, I get it. But the Bears' offense isn't exactly a stout offense either, because Justin Fields still isn't playing. So I think the Panthers in this matchup, they play a little bit more conservatively, right? They're going to run the ball a little bit more. They don't want to lose the game because their offense gives the game away. So they're going to try to, like every team should do, not turn the ball over, keep the time possession in their favor. While the Bears might try to air it out a little bit, maybe. But you also look at the Carolina Panthers against the run, not that great. So maybe the Bears run it out. So for that reason, if you're picking the over-under in this game, I would definitely lean to the under. I think it's at 38.5, something like that. I would definitely lean to the under. I'm not going to pick the over-under in this game, but I am going to pick the Panthers to win this game. I'm looking for a bounce-back game from the Panthers after that loss to the Colts. Hey, Gary, good to see you. Glad that you are here. Panthers Bear could be the worst game of the year tonight. There's some bad ones. Give me the Panthers to get their second win in Chicago. Panthers win this game. Panthers cover beat what is a 3-point spread. Then go on to Sunday, and it's back to international football, whether you like it or not. And listen, now the international series games, this one could be the worst of them. You got the Indianapolis Colts, the team I just talked about, coming off the win last week against the Panthers. 1.5-point favorites against the New England Patriots. Listen, the New England Patriots did not look good last week against the Commanders. They look good at times. I think they put 2 or 3 decent drives together to score some points, keep it close against the Commanders. Just couldn't get the job done. Now we're talking about going overseas, talking about going over to Germany. Which team is going to be more mentally prepared? And, there was an old expression, not sure how true it is in the NFL anymore because of the offensive league that we live in, but defense travels. So you look at these two teams and you say, who has the better defense? And although they don't have a better team, I would say that the Patriots have a better defense. So we are 2 games in here. 2 games in, and I'm giving you 2 upsets according to Vegas. I picked the Panthers on Thursday night. Give me the New England Patriots to win and beat the 1.5-point spread. Patriots win that game as well. Spin says Colts go under 43.5. I don't know what the over-under is in that game. I personally, if it wasn't for me doing this show, I would not bet this game. I would never bet an international game at all if it wasn't for me doing the show. I wanted to see how I do straight against the spread all season long. I put that goal out there at the beginning of the season just to do it, to see how I would do. And so I'm going to do it. But if I was not doing this, I would not bet international games ever, just because you don't know what you don't know. These teams aren't going to know what they're going to feel like until they're out there. So why am I going to try to figure out what they're going to do beforehand? So, but I am going to bet this game. I'm going to put a unit on it, and I'm going to bet the Patriots with an upset. Moving to the 1 o'clock games, Sunday we start with the Pittsburgh Steelers at home against the Green Bay Packers. I got nothing good. There's nothing that I love about this Green Bay Packer team. Of course, making reference to quarterback Jordan Love. I honestly don't. I don't think that, you thought that they might start off slow and then kind of come around as the season and get better as the season wore on. But from where I'm sitting, from what I'm watching, it's actually been the opposite of that. This team looked like they might be an above average team when the season started. But now as the season's wearing on and we're getting later in the year into November, they just don't seem like the same team that were through the season. Jordan Love still doesn't read routes properly, and that's just a problem. Now you're going to Pittsburgh, always a tough place to play, with a Pittsburgh Steelers team who's fighting hard. Listen, as of right now, every team in the AFC North is in the playoffs. If that happens, it would be the first time since 2002. Still lots of season to go. and these teams play each other, they're going to beat each other up a little bit. In fact, we have AFC North divisional matchup in today's video, so make sure you hang out for that to see who I picked there. I like the Steelers to win this game at home, 3-point favorites, but give me the Packers to keep it close, run the ball. You know you got Jones in there, you got some good options. Spin as the Steelers -3. I have the Steelers winning this game, but I have the Packers covering that 3-point spread. Moving on to the next game on the agenda. Give me 1 second here as I get off the Steelers and move to the Vikings and Saints. An NFC matchup. And listen, when it comes to all NFC matchups, I truly do not care. I want to see good football, but these two teams have not consistently provided me with good football, so I have no reason to be excited. However, the Vikings might do better now. Dobbs actually knows the playbook. We saw what Dobbs could do with this team when he didn't know the playbook. Well, now he's had a week to learn it even better. Can he even do better? Right now, they're sitting as underdogs. Sitting as underdogs against a Saints team that very well could win the NFC South. I think they're beginning to stack up some wins, give some confidence, and you know this team. Even though I did not like the coach's decision to not go by 2 scores against the Bears last week, I think the coaching staff might cost them a little bit, but I think they have the talent to win that division. You have Chris Olave, Derek Carr throwing the ball, got a good running attack with Alvin Kamara, and this defense is solid. Give me the Saints to win this matchup against the Vikings. And listen, Dobbs came out last week, had a nice little coming to Minnesota party, right? I think it kind of stops here. I think Vikings fans are excited about the possibility of what Dobbs can do, and they should be. But I just don't think they get the job done here. Saints on the road favorites. Give me Saints to win this game. Saints cover a 3-point spread, although I would not be surprised because this is a 3-point spread if this one lands right on the number, if it lands right at 3 points. But I can't bet that. I don't think I can bet that. You let me know in the comments if I can bet that or not. But give me the Saints. Give me the Saints to cover a 3-point spread. Going to Cincinnati, the Bengals coming off a Sunday night victory against conference rival Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, obviously, as we've talked about, playing times on this channel, Mark, Paul, Ryan, and myself, not looking like themselves right now. Just not looking like themselves right now. And that's why I won money on Sunday night when the Bengals beat the Buffalo Bills. Bengals go home playing the Houston Texans, and listen, we can go on all day talking about C.J. Stroud and how good he looks, and how Spin says Bengals money line, how good C.J. Stroud looked last week, and how good he's looked all season, and how little the Texans are turning the ball over. And listen, if this projection for C.J. Stroud's career continues to go like this, there's no telling how good the Texans are going to be for years to come. We're talking about the Bengals. We're talking about Joe Cool. We're talking about a wide receiving group who if Jamar Chase is fully healthy, remember he has that back thing from last week, but who can really put some points on the board. Can this Texans defense hold their own against the Cincinnati Bengals offense? A lot of people look at this game and they want to pick the over. Personally, I don't. I think we get a good run up mix of Joe Mixon, especially if Jamar Chase is not 100%. I like what Joe Mixon can do for this team, extend drives. Look at this Houston Texans team. I think that there are some turnovers in this matchup, whether they be fumbles or interceptions, that haven't been there most of the season for the Houston Texans. You look at the AFC South schedule as a whole, kind of soft. And so I'm not saying that they haven't done a good job beating teams they have beaten. They have, but I think that the Bengals are one of the tougher teams they've played so far this season, and I think it's going to prove itself on Sunday. 7 points, a 7-point spread's a lot, so I think the Texans can keep this game close, even in Cincinnati, covering that spread. But I think the Bengals win that game, and they continue to roll in the AFC. Remember, the Bengals, with the win last week, still only have 1 win against an AFC opponent. They want to make sure that tiebreaker record of conference record only improves from here. And the only way to do that is to get wins, and they do that against the Texans. Then I talked about an AFC North divisional battle this week, and here it is. The Baltimore Ravens at home, 6.5-point favorites against the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens coming off a very impressive victory against the Seattle Seahawks. The Cleveland Browns also, listen, I know I was going to say Arizona Cardinals, but they held the Arizona Cardinals to less than 100 yards of offense. Less than 100. That's unheard of. Not only did they shut them out, they didn't give much chance in this game to even move the ball. Like Arizona had what 3 first downs? Like it was crazy. Now the offense didn't do too much. The offense didn't do too much, but remember the offense really didn't have to. So what is going to happen in this matchup? Spin, I had the Ravens at 6.5 when I placed the bet, and I'm happy to take the extra half point. It's cool. So, and that might tell you which way I'm leaning as far as the spread. But you look at Lamar Jackson, you look at what this Baltimore Ravens team has done so far this season, tied atop the AFC with the Kansas City Chiefs for the best record. I think that, Lamar is playing close to that MVP level. He's playing the best that he has since that season, at least. And I like what they've done with the running attack. Listen, this one's going to be a dogfight, no pun intended, with the Cleveland Browns. But again, every team in the AFC North as of right now is in the AFC playoffs. So this game has huge implications. I just don't know if Cleveland's that team yet. A lot of people want them to be, right? We've given them a chance. We thought this offense would be a lot better this season. Now Deshaun Watson has had more time to reacclimate himself with not only the Browns, but with football in general, since he was off for more than a year with the suspension and everything. I don't think the next 0.5 will matter. No, I don't think so either. But we'll see. Spin's taking the Baltimore -6. I think the Baltimore Ravens win this matchup just because I don't think the Browns can put enough offense together. But I do think the Browns cover that 6.5 point spread. No, it's 3 divisions and 3 wild cards before the expansion, before the 8 divisions, there was 6 divisions. Most of those divisions had 5 teams. Some still had 4, but most of them had 5 teams. So there was the opportunity back then, and that was the last time it happened. Was in 2002. And this will be the first time, and this will be the first time it really could have happened since 2002. So give me the Ravens to win, but give me the Browns to cover that 6.5 point spread. Moving on to continue these 1 o'clock games. Another great game down in Florida. I think this is going to be a really good night. You have the hot AFC Jacksonville Jaguars at home against a team coming off a bye, a team that's been struggling lately, but still one of the better teams in the NFC, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. We saw what happened a few weeks ago to the 49ers, losing McCaffrey, losing Debo in the same game. And I think that is where a young quarterback like Brock Purdy kind of starts getting confused. You lose your top 1 and 2 offensive weapons in the same game. And yeah, McCaffrey came back to the next game, but your game plan has to be a little bit different, right? It has to be a little bit different. Now you're missing Debo Samuel. I think now they had a bye to kind of go over some things and figure some stuff out. I like the 49ers in this spot. 49ers still got a great defense, which is going to make it really tough on the Jacksonville Jaguars. We still haven't seen the Jacksonville Jaguars offensively put up huge numbers consecutively on back-to-back weeks, anything like that. I think this offense struggles at times still, and I think they're really going to struggle against a really good 49ers defense. I would not be surprised to see a 49ers defensive score in this matchup, and I think this offense, before the 49ers gets back on track, give me the 49ers to win this game. Give me the 49ers to cover that 3.5 point spread, or 3 point spread, sorry. And Spin says he likes the under sitting at 45. I wouldn't mind that either. I think that both these teams are going to try to run the ball a little bit more, but I think Jacksonville's going to have a problem with that early on. And I think that is going to lead to them having to throw the ball a little bit more. Might lead to them sneaking it to that over. But if I were picking the over under this matchup, I might between now and Sunday, I would probably lean under as well. But right now, as far as Thursday afternoon is concerned, give me the 49ers to win that game. 49ers cover that 3 point spread. More 1 o'clock games coming at you as the Tennessee Titans. This is actually the last 1 o'clock game of the day as the Tennessee Titans go into Tampa, playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers come off a very disappointing loss last week, the week where C.J. Stroud went off, losing by 2 points to the Houston Texans. You look at the Titans team right now, having a hard time with it, I think. I think Derrick Henry's doing pretty good, trying to hold his own. We all know that they're sticking to their quarterback. They had a Thursday night game where they lost to the Steelers last week, but they do get that extra rest then, right? So you do get an extra rest period. You have that Thursday night game. That's why I felt like I haven't seen the Saints playing forever because they hadn't. Tampa Bay -1, under 38.5. I like them both. I like both points every their spin. I think, and there's no real reason for it. I look at these two teams that need one that good. Tampa, obviously, I think has more to play for because they're still surprisingly, still in contention for that NFC South title. So I think the Buccaneers have a little bit more to play for. They're at home. You're going Buccaneers to win this game. Buccaneers cover that 1-point spread. Now we move to the 4 o'clock games, okay? And there's 4 4 o'clock games this week. But kind of a soft 4 o'clock game schedule, in my opinion. I think the first game we're going to cover is clearly the best of the 4. And if I had my choice as to which game I would watch, it would be the Lions going into Los Angeles for a home game. Let's be honest, Lions fans are going to travel well, and there's going to be a lot of Lions fans in LA to watch the Detroit Lions, especially in November. I'd be traveling to LA to watch the Detroit Lions play against the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are 3-point underdogs in this position. The Lions had a bye week last week. Chargers coming in hot after a Monday night victory against the Jets. That was this past week, but they were on the road, so they have to travel back out west, and they are home this week. And I understand that the Lions had a week of rest, and I feel like that really favors the Lions in this matchup. Plus, not only that, the Lions are just the better team. The Lions are just the better team. I think that the Lions in the NFC could make some noise in the playoffs, maybe some unexpected noise, but some noise nonetheless when it comes to the playoffs. Because let's be honest about here, guys, the Lions are winning that division, right? I think that division's already wrapped unless there's literally I can't even think. I'm like, unless there's a bad injury. But Jared Goff gets hurt. I don't see this team philosophy changing all that much, and I still think the Lions put together enough wins to win that division. I don't know. You still have Hutchinson there. You still have a defense that will be monstrous, and I think that will come in handy in the playoffs. Now, I think their lack of experience will ultimately be their undoing in the playoffs. But I think for the NFC North, I think for possibly the number 2, maybe number 3 seed in the playoffs. NFC Central is the only team with 6 teams. Because the Colts were in the East, so they had 5. Said 5, but yes, I knew there was a 2. But anyway, going back to this game, the Lions coming off that bye week, going to LA, hanging out in some warm weather. I'm sure they don't mind that at all. I think the Lions win this matchup, and like I said, I expect the Lions to continue to make some noise going into the playoffs in the NFL. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Are the Lions for real? We've seen them. They got humiliated already once this year by the Baltimore Ravens. Is that the Lions team that we can expect in the playoffs? Are they going to be embarrassed early on, or do you think they're legit contenders in the NFC? Can they make it to that Super Bowl? Can they do it? I don't think so, but maybe. Why not them? Why not them? Next game, again, not the only reason to look forward to this game is because it might be the return of Murray. Might be. I don't know what they're talking about with Cardinals with Kyler Murray. I don't expect Kyler Murray to be there next season, but what that tells me is that Kyler Murray needs to ball out the rest of this year if he's in there. He needs to ball out. He needs to do everything he can to make sure he proves to other teams in the NFL he can still be a legitimate backup, if not a starter, if called upon in the NFL. The Falcons, I just think that they're not using Michelle Robinson to the full extent. I think the coaching staff is killing them in Atlanta. I felt like at the beginning of the season, the Atlanta Falcons had a chance to win the NFC South, but the coaching staff, it just doesn't look like the coaching staff even wants to. It doesn't look like the coaching staff even wants to. Atlanta, spin as Atlanta winning this game. I do my best Lee Corso impression. Not so fast. Not so fast. I know Arizona struggled last week, and I know they got shut out. But did you know that teams that got shut out the previous week are at like a 62% clip to cover the spread the following week? And since I think it was like since mid 2015, something I don't know. I forget what it was. It was like 67%. I was like, wow. So not a lot of shutouts happen in the NFL, so you gotta give them that. But I like the Cardinals at home again. Kyler Murray might be back. Give the Cardinals to win this game. Give me the Cardinals to beat a 2-point spread as underdogs this week. Moving on, we got the Commanders at Seahawks coming up. Again, I'm not think it's going to be much of a contest. Obviously, I think the 4 o'clock game that's going to be mostly televised is that Cowboys-Giants matchup, which to me is just a joke. But you have the Commanders at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks coming off an embarrassing loss to the Baltimore Ravens. The Commanders coming off a kind of impressive win against a bad team, a New England Patriots team. A defensive struggle for a majority of that game. But it's an impressive win for the Commanders. The Commanders are sitting, around 500 football, and as a fan of just football in general, again, you wish them the best. But if you've been watching Razor Sharp Picks this season, I'm not sold on the Commanders. I'm not going to be sold on the Commanders until they prove me wrong. And yeah, last week I went with New England, and they kind of proved me wrong, right? In fact, that was my only loss straight up last week, was the Commanders beating the New England Patriots. So maybe I need to learn my lesson. Maybe that's karma saying, learn your lesson, Joe, or whatever you want to call it. Seattle money line under 45.5. So Spin took Seattle and took under in that game. For me, I like the under in this matchup. I do, but I think Seattle also might put up 40 points themselves. I think Seattle is going to be embarrassed after what happened last week, and they're going to be looking to put up a lot of points, run up the scoreboard a little bit against whoever their next opponent is. And the Commanders team, who just traded away 2 of their best defensive pieces, right? So how are the Seahawks going to take advantage of that come Sunday? I think they do, and I think this game, you could move the spread, to 9.5. I'd probably still take Seattle. Even the Seahawks to win this game, Seahawks cover a 6.5 point spread. Speaking of big spreads, I think this is the biggest spread so far this season, as the New York, New Jersey Giants go into Dallas for a divisional game against the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys, if you recall, week 1 completely dismantled the Giants 40-0, and that was with Saquon Barkley. That was with Daniel Jones. No Daniel Jones. In fact, Tyrod Taylor isn't even playing in this game. So they're still at their third-string quarterback. Not sure how that's going to work out for them. But again, I told you at the beginning of the season, I've been doing it all year long. I'm going to look a little bit deeper this year. Now that it's my money after that line, I'm going to dig a little bit. And I did a little bit of digging. And this is what they call a revenge game. You could say the same thing about the Baltimore Cleveland game that we did, because Cleveland lost Baltimore earlier this season. This is a revenge game. And when you look at the stats since 2000 in revenge games, in a divisional matchup where the divisional dog lost the first game, they're 62.5% covering the spread. So I know a lot of people are going to look at this game and say, oh, the Cowboys are going to win this game all day. Give me the 17 points. Or I'll take the 17 points. Not so fast. Remember my Lee Corso impression. Not so fast. Look at this Cowboys team. They're not putting up a lot of points. I think that last week against the Eagles, they put up some points against a soft Eagles defense. But even in that situation, they seem to screw themselves over a few times when they had a chance to not only tie the game, but take the lead. New York Giants versus Cowboys under 39. Couldn't be the money line because the odds were so bad. It would have dropped to the 250K down to 60K if I bet the money line. I don't know how could that happen? I mean, it might not add anything, but it won't erase anything of your other bets. I don't know where you're betting, Spin. I don't know where you're betting. But I look at this matchup, and again, I think the Giants will cover the spread just based on statistics. Because remember, when you're betting in the NFL or betting anywhere, when you're using money to bet on sports, emotions aside, logic needs to be what you use. And when you're looking at logic, you need to look at the numbers. Are the numbers always right? No, but what they're saying is they're profitable. If I'm profitable, if I'm winning 62.5% on a certain system, then I'm profitable. And that's all that matters to me at the end of the day, is being profitable. I'll bet against my Bills. I did it last week. And I will bet where the money is smart. And I think here in this situation, the money is smart to go with the Giants as road underdogs, 17 points against a divisional opponent. Give me the Giants to cover the spread. I'm not talking too crazy, though. Spin, I can't imagine what that 250K would have done if you picked the Giants to win straight up. But be smart. Be smart. Cowboys win this game. Giants cover a 17-point spread. Moving on, we got the Sunday night football game. And listen, I think this is going to be a decent game if you like defensive battles. You want to talk about taking unders? this might be one you want to consider. Take the under in this matchup. I think that there may be a defensive score in this matchup, and I think with defensive scores, that always alters my opinion on what's going to happen on the over/under. So we'll see what the over/under is at come Sunday, whether I want to take it or not. Right now, the over/under sits at 36.5, which is a really low score. But if anyone can hit that under, it's going to be these two teams. The Raiders come in as underdogs at the beginning of the day. They were half a point favorite, but now as I look at it, they're 1 point underdogs. I think that the money is where it needs to be. I think that not only are bettors smart, like average bettors, but I also think that the Sharks are looking at this and smelling blood in the water. I think the Jets are the better team. I think this defense is legit. I think that Wilson is beginning to look like an NFL quarterback, not making as many mistakes. Now he's not moving the ball. And the offense is still, not doing anything as far as scoring. But if you pin a team back long enough and let this Jets defense go after it, the Jets defense they're going to help you out. They're going to help you out, and I think that's what happens in this matchup. I don't trust the Raiders not to turn the ball over. I like the Raiders. Couldn't bet this game on the parlay for some reason. You might have just ran out of room. There are definitely maxes on parlays depending on the website you go to. So you may have just, after you bet, 10, 15 bets, they might have said you can't bet anymore on this ticket. I bet if you went back there and just tried to bet on this game, they'd allow it. But there's some bets that even Vegas or even odds makers will not let you take, just on the rare occurrence that maybe you hit it and then they just lose, right? They just lose. So this matchup, I think the public is right. I think the betting sharks are right. I like the Jets to win this game. Jets cover probably a 2-point spread. Once you get to 2.5 or 3, then I think the money's just not there because I don't trust the Jets to cover any spread after 2.5 points. But I think that the money's there right now. I'm going to take Jets to win. I'm going to take Jets to cover the spread. But what you all have been waiting for is Monday Night Football. And what is my reaction going to be? As I do this game live, I'll be live Monday night, giving me a game between the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. How am I going to react? What am I going to do? Well, it depends which Bills team shows. Can we please get the Week 3 Bills team back? Can we please get the early Buffalo Bills team back? Team that beat the Dolphins, who at that point were moving the ball better than anybody, right? Can we get that team back? Please. I want that team back. Because if you remember that game, it wasn't even close in the second half. The Bills ran away with that one. Where is that team? Is that offense gone because Trey White got hurt? Is that offense gone because Matt Milano got hurt? Like, why is that offense struggling so much? I understand the defensive struggles. I get it. But why is that offense struggling? Plenty of people on social media have the reasons. They're all full of crap. None of them know the actual reason. But I'm sure we'll debate it till the end of time. There will be no answer, of course, but you guys will be happy knowing that we talked about it and debated it. Is it Allen's fault? Is it Dorsey's fault? Is it McDermott's fault? Is it the offensive line's fault? Is it because we don't run? Is it because the solar energy surrounding Highmark Stadium? What is it? I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know. You don't know either. We can assume, we can speculate, but we don't know. All we know is we want the Buffalo Bills offense back that we can rely on, that we can trust, that went against Miami Week 3 at Highmark and just completely crushed them. We do know that the Bills are undefeated at home. I don't care what the standings say. It shows a 1-loss, 4-home record. No, that was the game in London against a team that had been there for 2 weeks compared to our 3 days. That doesn't count to me. I think we're still undefeated at home. Maybe not. Who knows? All this losing has me annoyed. I don't know anymore. But I do know that come Monday night, I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game. I have the Buffalo Bills covering the spread. Remember, last week on primetime, I won money because the Bills lost. This week, primetime, I'm going to win money because the Bills not only win, the Bills will cover that 7-point spread. So, again, let me know in the comment section. If I'm perfect up to this game, I might cash out early, depending on how much they offer me. Bills need to go no huddle the rest of the season. Absolutely. Smith says, but Bills -7.5, under 46.5. I like the over in this game, to be honest with you, Spin. I think Denver's able to score. What's a banged up defense? Yes, I would say if you're perfect up to this time, cash out for the 100-some K. cash out for the 100 some K. You'll be all right. You'll be happy with it. Those are my picks. Again, I'll go through them real quick for you straight up. I got the Panthers tonight, Patriots, Steelers, Saints, Bengals, Ravens, 49ers, Buccaneers, Lions, Cardinals, Seahawks, Cowboys, Jets, Bills. Let's see if I can go 13-1 again. And then against the spread, I got the Panthers, Patriots, Packers, Saints, Texans, Browns, 49ers, Buccaneers, Lions, Cardinals, Seahawks, Giants, Jets, Bills. Let's see if I can do better than 7-7. Let's see if we can get some 10 wins against the spread. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not a huge fan of this week looking at the matchups. I don't think I did that great of a job, but we won't know until we know, right? So thank you for joining me on this edition of #Sports Razor Sharp Picks. Again, normally live Wednesday nights, depending how this does. Already have more action in the comment section. Maybe we'll stick to Thursday afternoon. We'll see. Let me know which one you prefer in the comment section as well. We'll talk about it next week. We'll see when I do it next week. There wasn't Wednesday night or Thursday morning. But I'll be live Monday to do the game between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. Maybe I'll let you know then. Until then, thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon. Go Bills.